This is Warzone Jones, and this is my next video. And I'm talking about the career of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, the guy who literally split John Cena's mouth open. Brock Lesnar, here's a guy who burst on the scene in the WWE around 2003, and you could tell this guy had it. Now, I remember when I first saw this guy, I was amazed how big this guy was. Like, hey, his physique, I'm like, whoa, that's a really big guy right there. And it wasn't just that, it was just his talent too. So Brock Lesnar had the look, and he had the talent, and he had Paul Heyman. He had this creative genius named Paul Heyman as his manager, and he helped Brock Lesnar get over to a large extent where Brock Lesnar became basically one of the greatest WWE champions of all time. Literally, he helped Brock Lesnar get there. Now let's start from the beginning. Brock Lesnar's biggest accomplishment, well, his first big accomplishment. His first big accomplishment was winning the King of the Ring. Brock Lesnar won the King of the Ring, and from there on, you already knew. You just knew that he was going to be the next big thing. You knew it. Once he won the King of the Ring, he earned the right to face The Rock at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. He faced The Rock, and guess what? He beat him. He beat The Rock, and at the time, everybody thought that was going to be The Rock's last match because he was going on to make movies after that. He beat The Rock one-on-one, mano-a-mano, no controversy. There was no outside interference. He beat The Rock clean, and he was a heel. Can you believe that? A heel beating The Rock clean. Literally. 1, 2, 3, no outside interference. That's how he beat The Rock. Like a man. Straight up. And Brock Lesnar shot on from there. He went on from there. He defended his title on multiple occasions. He lost his title, but he got his back. He was a 3-time WWE champion. Brock Lesnar has also won the Royal Rumble. He's won the Royal Rumble. He wrestled Kurt Angle for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I can't remember which WrestleMania it was. Sorry about that. But, he did wrestle Kurt Angle, for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. And from there on, Brock Lesnar, well, he wanted to really do other things. He wanted to do football. Brock Lesnar wanted to play football. He wanted to play football, and it really didn't work out for him. It didn't work out for him. So you know what Brock Lesnar did? He wanted to go into MMA. That was basically the next big thing for him. Brock Lesnar wanted to go into MMA, a growing sport, a sport that is the biggest combat sport, out there, period. No matter what you say about boxing, MMA is the biggest combat sport out there. So he goes into the UFC. The UFC hypes him. They hype him big. And when I tell you they hype him big, they hyped him up to be the next big thing. Kind of like the WWE did. Now, since MMA is real, when Brock Lesnar talks trash about what he's going to do, you literally have to do it. You have to do it. Because, in MMA, there's no story writers. These guys determine their own destinies. So, he wrestles this guy, he fights this guy named Frank Mir. He fights this guy and something happened. Brock Lesnar lost. He lost his first match after he talked all that trash. And after they put all that big hype into Brock Lesnar, as in, because Brock Lesnar was talking a bunch of trash. He was talking about how the UFC was starving for a real heavyweight champion, how they were starving for, the next big thing, basically. And he was basically saying that he was that guy, and he lost his first match to Frank Mir. Frank Mir made him tap out. He submitted. Now, when you tap out in real life, that's 10 times worse than tapping out in a fake pro wrestling match. Let's be honest here. It really is. After that, after he lost to Frank Mir, he fights this guy named Heath Herring. And you know what he did to Heath Herring? He whipped Heath Herring's ass. I'm telling you. For all you people who don't watch that, Brock Lesnar literally sort of ended this guy's career. People say that because when he punched Heath Herring in his eye, he broke his orbital bone. He punched him like right here in the eye. And this man does a whole backflip. He tumbles. He tumbles over. He rolls over and do a whole little back roll up after Brock Lesnar literally punches this guy around the eye, and he broke his orbital bone. And that guy hasn't fought since then. And this was around 2006, maybe 2007. around 2006. I can't remember exactly. Sorry about that. But he beats that guy. Brock Lesnar beats that guy, and then he moves on. And you know what Brock Lesnar gets? A title shot. Literally. Like, Brock Lesnar literally gets a title shot. He shouldn't have got a title shot that early, but the heavyweight division, there wasn't a lot of depth in the heavyweight division yet. So he gets a title shot. He fights this legendary fighter named Randy Couture, Olympic gold medalist. He beats this guy. He beats him. He beats Randy Couture, and now he finally becomes the heavyweight champion. After that, he defends his title against the first guy who I said earlier, Frank Mir. He faces Frank Mir, and then something happens. He beats him. He beats Frank Mir, so he revenges his loss. He revenged his first loss in the UFC against Frank Mir. After that, he defends his title against this guy named Cain Velasquez. He defends his title against this guy, and Brock got knocked out this time. So Brock Lesnar lost his title. After that, he fought this guy named Alistair Overeem. And then something happens. He lost. He lost again. But other than that, you know, Brock Lesnar has retired from that, and he came back to the WWE. Now, one of the reasons why Brock Lesnar had left UFC, not just because he was losing all of a sudden, but basically because, you know, he had got this disease called Dyslipidolosis. I'm sorry, I can't think of what the exact name was, but it was this disease basically, and it almost killed him, literally. And he basically was getting there ever since he started doing MMA, and he couldn't perform well as he could before he first got this disease. And I wish I could think of the name. I'm sorry, I can't think of it. For all you people who know out there, you know what that disease was. It's not some disease that's like contagious or anything. Like if you touch it, like I'm gonna get it and you gonna get it. It's nothing like that. But since then, he's came back to the WWE and he's doing what he's doing now. Now he came back to the WWE. He came back to Raw. He shakes John Cena's hand and he F5 his ass. A shot heard across the globe. He F5 his ass. All the fans going crazy. All the Brock Lesnar fans going crazy. All the John Cena haters loving it to death. I loved it. I'm not a big John Cena hater, but I still loved it when he F5'd his ass. So, now, what's next for Brock Lesnar? It looks like there's a John Cena versus Brock Lesnar feud going on here, which is yeah, that's what's happening. You're gonna get this feud between John Cena and Brock Lesnar. So, this is good for wrestling. Brock Lesnar is back in pro wrestling. That's good. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for it, and I'm happy for us, the wrestling fans. So, that's all I got to say. That was a review on Brock Lesnar's career. This is Warzone Jones. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. Deuces.